Okay, so welcome back to some more Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game, and does your track suck? We're going to keep going with probably with two of your guys' tracks, your suggestions, and then one random one, just because I think it's kind of fun to just go look at the tracks they have online and try and find one that's at least interesting, to say the least. So thanks for the support on this series, and remember to leave your comments of the suggestions that you want me to check out. Now, I'm going to say it here because I say it all the time, and if you're new to the series or the channel, maybe you didn't hear it yet, but I do check everybody's comment and everybody's track basically, but a lot of the time I can't find the track. It doesn't actually get brought up in the search. It shows your track, but it doesn't actually bring up something to click on. So if you could check it yourself or have a friend check it to see if it's actually there, and then leave the comment, that would help a little bit, but it's whatever. And then also leave your PSN. I'm on PlayStation, so leave your PSN so if there's multiple tracks with that same name, I know which one's yours. But we're going to jump into this and go see if we can find one of your suggestions. Okay, so here we have the first track, Wind 5151, recommended by McKinnon12345. I hope I'm saying that right. Now, this isn't blind. 9 times out of 10 it is, but again, I've been forgetting to start my recording software, so yeah, we made a few laps on here before we realized that. It's an interesting track. We'll kind of talk about it as we go. Here's a really big double, which you don't really need to preload or do anything for. You just hit it perfect, so really good job there. That's one of my positives that I'm looking at taking away from this track. Here, I don't really like this. I kind of wish I wish you were landing on something, even if you have that little wall going into the corner. I wish there was something there. I kind of wish there was a jump here to double over this over-under. It doesn't really bother me that much because slowing down for it, I'm okay with it. I mean, realistically, maybe you just got to slow down for it. It's okay in a sense like that. I think slowing down for sections once in a while doesn't bother me, but there's another one where the finish line is an example of what I don't like to see. Now, I did get it, and I probably won't now. This is a quad. I think it's like 4 quads. We kind of butchered it up into a bunch of different things. But here's the finish line coming up, and you have all this speed, and then you have to slow down so much, and it doesn't really go anywhere. You know what I mean? It doesn't really... I wish he would have brought the finish line back a little bit, and then just made it something... It doesn't have to be a huge jump. I just wish that it just feels weird because you carry so much speed and then you're slowing down so much for it to go nowhere. It's not even like a wall. It's just like a weird finish line. So I kind of wish that was somewhere else. But the double there, that big double, and the rhythm section in the back are my favorite parts because they're... Well, the double's not really difficult, but the rhythm section's kind of difficult. It reminds me a lot of that rhythm section we did. I think it was in the last video on that one guy's track. It was, I think his rhythm section was a bit longer, but it was really similar in the build, like the way they made it. It had a lot of those littler jumps, and then there was just a bunch of them, and they were kind of offset. And this one definitely has offset. They're not. I don't think they're all the same. Might have to take a closer look at them when we get there. I would like to get through this though really badly. We got quad. Nope, we overjumped. See, it's actually difficult. So we're gonna go quad, triple, kind of double and a half, and then turn it into whoops on the way out. You can quad that 4 times through. I did it before. I think it's 4 times. I'm not 100% sure. So minute 17. I think I turned to 1:15 earlier, so it's not bad lap times. A little on the long side if you're going for more realistic, but nonetheless, the layout's not terrible. It's just, I don't really know. I don't know how to feel about this track. Oh, and this was also, I think, the 5th track. I had to go through 4 different ones before actually finding this one. So if you had commented, there was at least 4 tracks that just didn't work. It didn't bring up anything. It would bring up, well, I think a couple of them it brought up something, but I couldn't click on it like always. And then there was 1 or 2 that didn't even... the search didn't even find it, so I don't know if it was an Xbox track suggestion or a PC or what it was. This was the first one, and I don't know. I think it feels very, I don't know, maybe below average for me. I don't even think it's at average, and I'm gonna say it because I always say it when I feel like I criticize a track. My tracks suck, man. I only have 1 track online, and it sucks. It's not very good, so I'm not saying that I'm so good and know everything about track making. I'm just saying what I like to see. And so I criticize based off of what I like to see. I mean, look, I suck. I can't even get through this rhythm section, but I like it. That's one of my favorite parts on your track here. It's just, I don't know. Ultimately, what matters is that you enjoy it and you like to... It's what you wanted out of the track. Let's do one more lap. I kind of like spending about 5 minutes on each track and giving everybody the same amount of time in the video and everything, even though we kind of know what's going on. And I feel like there's a lot of bare sections where nothing's really happening. I mean, these over-unders you couldn't do a whole lot because I think you can only put the straight there. The double's cool, again, I keep saying that, and this, I feel like maybe even if you could have pulled it back a little bit more towards the corner and just made it a smaller double or something. This section's alright, I don't have a problem here, and you don't have to have a jump in front of this. I think it's cool that you kind of have to slow down a little bit, use some throttle control. I mean, you could send it to about the middle of the start straight there, which I don't know if that's faster. It's a little bit less realistic doing it like that, but it's an option. And he couldn't really put a landing there because it would be on the start straight then, which makes no sense. Well, you can't even do that. It won't even allow you to. So quad. Oh, come on, we almost got it. Well, there you go. So it's 4 quads. Cool section. I like that. That's probably my favorite one, and then just the big double, giving it a good full send. So 115, 149. Not bad. I mean, the track, it's hardest for me to give star ratings to tracks like this where I don't feel like it excelled at anything in particular, but I don't feel like it was overly terrible. You know what I mean? So we're gonna give it 3 stars. 3 suck stars. Not terrible, not great. The rhythm section was kind of fun. The double was kind of fun. The layout's not terrible. I just feel like it was lacking things, and I feel like the finish line, I wasn't a big fan of where that was. Maybe if it was somewhere else. But again, the most important thing is that you're having fun on it. You enjoy it, your friends, and you enjoy it, whatever. That's what matters. If just me saying that it's kind of a meh track doesn't really mean anything. So try not to take too much offense to it. And it doesn't mean that you can't build great tracks. It just means this particular one wasn't my favorite. You know what I mean? So 3 stars. Let's go see if we can find ourselves another suggested track. Okay, before we get into the next track, I kind of want to show you what the problem that I am running into here. So we go to the search thing here and put in, it's already in here because I've searched it so many times, experts only. And then we will go to done and confirm it. And boom, it brings up research experts only, 1 of 1, but there's not actually something to click on. This is what's happening to me. And if I'm just stupid and there's something easy, please tell me in the comments. But this is the problem. It's not bringing up your tracks. There was another one. There was 2 more for sure. One was called Tasty Ways, and the other one was called Onion Rink. I tried searching for those 2 because you said they were really good tracks. You thought they were a lot better than the ones we had been doing. So I was interested, wanted to check them out, but it's doing the same thing as this. So if you have a fix for this, or if it's something easy, please elaborate to me in the comments why it doesn't work for me. Okay, so we finally were able to get a track to come up in the search result. This is called Madness 2.0, suggested by Motor Cross. And let's jump into this. So he has, I think he said Madness, or not 2, 3.0, yeah. 3.0 will be coming next. Whoa. Let's get back on the track. There we go. This one's totally blind because our recording software is actually turned on this time. Let's see what this is about. It's Madness 2.0, so I'm expecting some crazy stuff here. Maybe not, it doesn't have to be hard, but I'm expecting some craziness. We're gonna fully send this thing into the whoops. And kind of, oh, that's cool. Actually, that's really cool because you get like, if you land in those little whoops just right, I think that was supposed to turn into big whoops. So it was like, it started out small and then he changed them to the big whoops. Really cool. Okay, that might need a preload. Whoa. That is crazy. Even if, I mean, basically it doesn't really matter because you're just jumping over everything. It looks crazy. It looks like madness. Already kind of like the track. Kind of a cool idea. That whoop section, I think, is the neatest idea to me because it's a little bit different how he did that. So I think next time we're not going to fully send it. We're going to roll over it like a wall and then see how that section of whoops turns out. Just hitting them normally instead of jumping into it, because we jumped into him and then we got some lift off of that next whoop the way it was. This section's kind of cool. Slows people down. don't know if I need to send these. No, that one's not getting a full send. We're going to have to slow down on that one. I'll never remember that. Some of these tracks that are really long, I will never in a million years remember it on only like 2 laps, because this kind of feels like it's going to be one of those longer tracks, so we'll probably only get like 2 laps in, but nonetheless, you guys can get an idea, and it's pretty awesome. I always like this. Look how curvy the track was there, too. I always really enjoy that. The first time I ever saw that was on Cubs Fans track, and yes, Matt, I need to check out your track and Sean's. I need to check out Sean and Matt's tracks. Ooh, come on, stay on the track. That's kind of cool. We've seen that before, but that's still kind of a neat idea. Is this the large... This is the large outdoor stadium, I think. And then here's the finish line. So probably... Yeah, it looks like maybe one more lap. But like I said, what I want to do is I kind of want to... Oh, man, I forgot that was like that. Gotta remember, don't reset me. Come on, we're back on the track. What I want to try and do is hit that whoop section a little bit differently and see how it works, because that to me is somewhat of an original idea. I've never really seen that. I'm sure it's out there. There's over 3,000 tracks on PlayStation, but I personally have not seen it. So instead of giving this a send, let's roll over it and then see how this plays out. Hitting these actually worked really well, and we kind of hit those really bad. But this is like last video, I really wanted... Was it last video? I don't remember anymore. We've done enough of these. I wanted to see a really long section of big whoops, and that kind of happened. I forgot. We needed a preload on that one. So that works out really well. Even though I didn't hit it, I'm sure it works out just fine. This is a double, I think. Now the next one coming up is the one that we want to let off a little bit and slow down. That I'm over jumping, my bad. Forgot that was there. I mean, I know I complain sometimes when you have to slow down too much, but even like on the last track, some throttle control to change things up isn't a bad thing. And I think it depends on what the situation is, how you're slowing down. Like that finish line, I just didn't like it because of all the speed you carried into it. But again, that was just my personal opinion. It doesn't really matter that much. And now this one we need to slow down for a little bit, because this is straight into a corner, which makes sense. This quad, kind of wish I would have got that other one, whatever that was, that had all those jumps together. Was this one? Yeah, we'll slow down for this one too, because it's going into the corner, which makes sense. I can live with that. See if we can best our lap time. What was this? Oh, yeah. Like I was saying, the first time I'd ever seen that was on Cubs Fans track. I forget what it was called, but that was early on. The game had just come out, and he was already doing that. Figured that you could jump over it like that. These sections are always kind of fun. They're really hard because of the angle you have to hit them at, but I like it. I think it adds... That's a level of difficulty, because... Whoa. See, that was... I don't know. That's really cool. I like it. 2:13. We're not much better. We're actually maybe a little bit slower. So I think that's it, because otherwise I think it's going to be too long, because I'm not going to get under 2-minute lap time. So really good track. We're going to give this half a star. Just half a star. I know, like I said, that's like the really typical rating we give everything, but it was really good. It probably could have been less than half a star, and maybe it would be if I could just spend some more time on it, but with this short time, I think the original section, dude, that was freaking awesome, I loved it, was the whoop section. The fact that you could send it into those little whoops, jump out of it, and then basically turn the next big whoop section into a rhythm section, or slow down, roll over that wall, and then go through the small whoops to the big whoops. That was awesome. That was really original. The jumping over the over-under, like doubling, tripling over that, was really cool. How it kind of turned. Some really cool, unique ideas on this track, which is why I think it's for sure only half a star, maybe even less. So really good job. Good stuff. And let's go see if we can find a random track. Okay, so here we have our final track of the day, called Mountain Dew Yourself. It is the random track of the day too, and I picked it because it looked insane. There's a really big section of whoops you can see in that overview picture, and that's kind of what hooked me, was the whoop section. Now that was interesting. It was a long line of dragon's back sections, which was kind of cool. That triple, I don't know if I'll ever get that. Triple, double. Oh, come on. That's like a cool, really tough step-up triple. Maybe I need a different gear ratio transmission. Maybe I need a different transmission, because I think I'm using the medium one right now, and maybe that's not perfectly set up for what he would like you to have for this track. maybe it requires the low gear ratio transmission. I'm not 100% sure. Now, this is what got me, was having, so you got this long section of like the regular whoops, the big regular whoops, and then you have this, which could be a rhythm section maybe, but I highly doubt it. I think this is supposed to be back-to-back whoops, but the tough thing about it is, look how hard it is to get on top of them, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing that gets you up on top. You turn it into a rhythm section, or you do what I'm doing right now. So really tough section of whoops here. There we go. Finally at the very end, we kind of were able to get it right. And this, we overjumped or underjumped. I'm not 100% sure what that's supposed to be. Hop over. Hop over. So this is definitely the slow way. You got to get on top of these bad boys. There we go. We need to get on top of those tables and step from each one. Same with this. So he's using like the little tables because, one, when you mess up, you can kind of fix it. Like I overjumped. You need to feather the throttle through this. So there's a good sense of throttle control on this these two sections. And then you kind of miss one sometimes. And I've said that I always enjoy the tables because I think it adds a level of difficulty to hit smoothly. That's a really big finish line jump too. Definitely gonna have to throw a preload over that. And this, I don't know, this is kind of cool too. Even if it's slightly annoying, but it's still interesting because it's different. And this triple, there's no way. I'll never get this. No way. Never. Look, I mean, I'm not even close. I'm not preloading, but I'm not even close to getting it. So, not going to get that. We already underjumped this triple. Now we messed ourselves up for this double, and we'll never hit this triple. Just going to case it. Really ugly run through that section. 155. Oh, people could do so much better than that. It's actually it's a long track, but it's a fairly fast track. If we can hop over this again. No, man. Want to double it into that corner. It makes doing everything else so much easier. Got to throw the whip. People complain. Where are the whips? Well, there's a whip, man. No complaining. No more complaining. Now, what I really want to do is try and get through this big whoop section better than what we did last time. So we got to somehow... Maybe this will work. Oh, no. See, it's really hard to get going. There we go. See, so definitely this is a whoop section, but it's difficult. It's probably the most difficult big whoop section I've seen. One, because it's so long, and two, because it's hard to get a... And I keep forgetting this. I need to, like, not full send that. Not give that a full send. But those whoops are tough because usually they're away from the corner a bit, and then you'll have like a small or one or two smaller whoops to get you up on top of them. That's not the case here, so you're jumping into him. So maybe it would be better to try and carry some kind of rhythm timing through that and then turn them into big whoops at the end. See, with these small tables, you're able to kind of fix yourself. Like once, because I'm not feathering the throttle very good, I'm not really thinking that hard about it, but you can fix it. You can... oh, now we're not getting this either. Yeah, I know I suck. I know I'm making this track look bad, and the track's actually really cool. It's actually really well done. The most annoying part is this section for sure. This Dragon's Back section. It's annoying, but it's not like a bad annoying. I find it very unique. It's just slightly annoying, you know what I mean? It's just something, but it's something different. So, points for originality. Come on, get over this triple. Let off a little bit. Oh man, we just can't quite get that. Wow, that's a really tough step up triple. I'm sure it's possible. I believe that everything he put on this track was for a reason, because it feels like it's laid out quite well. But we're struggling. And I'm glad this wasn't a triple, because otherwise that would have been the struggle bus all day long, trying to make that work. But the best part for me, if I had to choose one best section on this track, it would be this big section of whoops. I wouldn't say it's original because people do the big whoops all the time, but see, like here, we're triple. I mean, you could just do this all day long, but you want to do this. See, now we're back into a flow with the whoops, and this is for sure faster. And the most original part on the track, my favorite part's the whoops. The most original part is probably all those. Let's see if we can let off a little bit. Oh, not enough. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I'm not 100% sure how to do that. Maybe you can clear it, and I just am not. I like this section too. It's not as, I don't like it as much as the whoops, but I do enjoy this section. See, now we're just, oh man, what a bad run through that. I don't think I've got a good run through these table sections yet. And then I just messed myself up for this one. Now I'm not going to get on top of the tables again. Unless we can kind of, there we go. And the most original section to me is probably those dragons backs, like doing it that many times in a row, having that many lined up after the finish line here is probably the most original section for me on the track. Can we clear this actually? Yes, we got it. Okay, so there you go. We did plenty of laps on this one. Really, quite an interesting track. It had a really good flow, and it's pretty difficult. It takes some time to, I don't feel like there was anything on the track where I was questioning, oh, how am I supposed to do this? I know what I needed to do, I just couldn't accomplish it, like that step up triple or that triple after this section. I know it's there, I just can't quite do it. This Dragon's Back section is probably the one that I'm most curious about. How would you go about it? Do I want to hit every one, or do I want to try and double over them? You know, whatever. And we kind of know how everything else is. So really interesting track. We're going to give this half a star. Just half a star. I know we give everything half a star, but it's just like the easiest rating to give something that I feel like is good, but not the best I've ever seen, or pushing the best I've ever seen. This was a really good track. Laid out really well, thought out really well, had a lot of difficult sections. The whoop section was mint. That thing was awesome. This was unique, this Dragon's Back section, so it was really good. I just don't feel like it was the best track I've ever seen. Hence the reason, half a star. So there you go. That's going to wrap up this episode. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on this series. Remember, leave me your tracks if you want me to check them out, but try to check them out yourself and make sure they're there before you do it, because you've seen that that's what's happening to me. Or let me know why I'm so stupid and don't know what's going on and what the fix is for it. But again, you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. And until the next video, take it easy.